Hello, hello, and welcome to Coaching Corner with me, Tracy Forsyth. And I was talking to a friend last week who had a big interview coming up, and they were really feeling like they wanted to get it right. And I said, remember, they want to filter you in, not filter you out. Anyway, we both thought that was genius. I exaggerate. And we had a bit of a chuckle about how I'd be using that in my next coaching corner, and me voila. So, but I do think that thinking of interviews as they want to filter me in, not filter me out, is a useful mindset shift that alters how you approach interviews. So I think interviews, they're not a test that you pass or fail. Yes, okay, you might get the job, you might not, but it's more of a matching process. And if a company has gone to the effort to set up a job description, put out ads, etc., and hold interviews, then they're really looking for somebody to hire. So they don't want to filter you out, because that means more time for that they have to spend on interviewing and finding somebody. They want to find somebody who is easy to filter in. So your job is to make sure you understand what their filters are and can show that, right? So some of you might have picked up this year that I've got really into knitting as a way to get off my phone. And of course, now I'm a knitting addict instead of a phone addict, but my family says that's healthier and more productive because we all get hats, scarves, tops, gloves, etc., etc. But I've taken to finding bargain balls of wool like this one and this one on Vinted, like random balls of wool that just look lovely. And then figuring out what to do with them. So I go on this website called Ravelry, if anybody's interested, and enter the type of yarn I've got. So look, this is like ballerina chunky mohair. And this one is, I can't pronounce that, Kammersternstoff. Yeah, anyway, amazing yarn. But what to do with it? So I go on this website and I enter in their filters the type of yarn I've got, the meterage, how much I've got, and press apply filters. And then it pops up with patterns for what I can make. So this one is going to be the Juno bucket hat. I'll show you when I've done it. So anyway, I don't digress. There is a point to this. So when you go to interviews, it's the opposite. They've got the desired vision of what they want at the end, but they don't necessarily have the yarn, that's your skills, or even the pattern, how you apply those skills, how you solve problems. So it's your job to work out how you can be that yarn, and if needed, demonstrate how you create those patterns. Anyway, I hope this knitting analogy is working. So just to continue it a little bit more, it's no good turning up like a giant tangled ball of wool saying, here's everything, and hoping that they'll dig through and find something useful. It's far more powerful to say, you're looking for an Aran sweater that's 100% wool. Well, here's the yarn I've got, and here's exactly how it could work to match that. Anyway, knitting aside, in the real world, what does that look like? Well, it looks like, number one, answering what's actually being asked and not what you think sounds impressive, not trying to throw everything in, and the kitchen sink. It's about, number two, joining the dots between your experience and what they need. What do they need? And then you talk about your experience in that context. Number three, it's about being clear about how you think, how you approach things, not just what you've done. Like, what is it that you are bringing? What is your how do you approach problems? How do you tackle things? Number four is giving specific, relevant examples that make it easy for them to pitch you in the role. Yeah. And the fifth thing, I think it's a small thing, but it makes a big difference, is that after you answer a question, pause and ask, does that answer your question, or would it help you if I went into a bit more detail? Is there anything else? This just sort of makes sure that you demonstrated that you've hit all those filters, that there's nothing that they're thinking that you haven't hit. that you could easily fit. So remember, in a Mr. Miyagi way, remember he was like, what was he? Wash on, wash off? No, I don't think that's right. But anyway, in my way, filter in, not filter out. That's what we're trying to do. I hope that helps. Take care. And thank you to the friend who inspired the filter in, filter out. We hope you enjoy it as much as we have. All right. Take care.